Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mr. Marlowe's 6th grade math class. Today, I'm very excited to present to you Lesson 18, Solving One-Step Equations Using Addition and Subtraction. This is where the fun begins. This is where we're going to really be getting into solving equations. Our target for today is I can solve one-step equations using algebraic methods, and I can check to determine if their solutions make the equations true. So, a lot of people like to ignore this second target, but I promise you we will not. All right. So, example number 1 says solve the equation using algebraic methods. Use substitution to check your answer. So when we are solving algebraic equations, at least when we start, what's going to happen is we're going to be given some variable, and we're going to be asked to solve for that variable. What that means is we are going to find the value of that variable, which makes this equation true. Okay, so I want to see what b is worth. I want to find the value of b. And how I do that is I isolate b on one side of the equation or on one side of the equal sign. Okay, those mean the same thing. So I want to isolate b. I want to get b alone. I want it all by itself to figure out what it's worth. Okay, so I have b plus 9 equals 15. So if I want to get b alone, I want this this term right here to go to 0. And if I have a plus 9, how do I get plus 9 to go to 0? All right. Well, what I do is I perform the inverse operation of addition. And the inverse operation of addition is subtraction. And what do I have to subtract from 9 to get to 0? Well, I have to subtract 9. Now, just like when we were doing ratios, right? What I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. I have to balance it. Right? So if I subtract 9 from this side, I also have to subtract 9 from this side. Copy down my b, because I haven't done anything. 9 minus 9 is 0. And 15 minus 9 is 6. I can simplify this further. B plus 0, well, that's just b, right? Anything plus 0, it's just itself. I copy down my equal sign, and I get b is equal to 6. Now we're not done, because I need to check my answer. And the way I check my answer is I rewrite the original equation. But now, everywhere I see b, I'm going to write down the value that I found, which is 6. So instead of b, I'm going to write down 6. And 6 plus 9 is 15. Copy down the equal sign, copy down the 15 because there's no operation. Is 15 equal to 15? It sure is. So I know my answer is definitely b equals 6. All right, let's try another one. Solve the equation using algebraic methods. Use substitution to check your answer. So now I have d minus 5 equals 7. Okay? Remember, I want to solve for this variable. I want to find out what this variable is worth. I'm going to find out what it's worth by isolating it on one side of the equation. I'm going to do that by performing the inverse operation of what is shown. What's the inverse operation of subtraction? Well, that's addition. Copy down the 5. And remember, whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. So if I add 5 over here, I have to add 5 over here. Okay? The d is going to stay the same. Probably. Negative 5 plus 5, that's 0. And 7 plus 5 is 12. I can clean this up. D plus 0 is just d. Anything, any number or variable plus 0 is just itself. And I get d is equal to 12. Let's do our check. We're going to check using substitution. Again, just copying down our original equation. Okay, I'm going to substitute 12 in for d. That's the answer that I found. 12 minus 5 is 7. Is 7 equal to 7? It sure is. So I know d equals 12 is definitely my answer. Okay. Let's do one last one here. Solve the equation using algebraic methods. Use substitution to check your answer. All right, this one is just like the first two, only it's flipped. So I have 12 equals 8 plus c. All right, again, I want to get c alone, okay? And it doesn't matter if c is alone on the right side of the equal sign or the left side of the equal sign. As long as c is alone, I don't care, okay? This is interesting because I want to perform the inverse operation, okay? Now you might be looking at this right here and say to yourself, oh, Mr. Marlowe, the inverse operation is addition. Well, you'd be correct, but you'd be correct for the wrong reason. Okay? We are going to subtract 8 from both sides, but you need to remember that if there's no sign in front of the 8, that implies that the 8 is positive. Okay? And since it is a positive number, the inverse operation would be subtraction. Okay, so we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. Remember, if we subtract 8 from here, we have to subtract 8 from here. Okay, 12 minus 8 is 4. 8 minus 8 is 0. And we're going to copy down the pluses c. Okay. I can clean this up further. I'm going to copy down the 4, and I'm going to say 0 plus c is c, because any number plus 0 is just itself. So the answer I got is c equals 4, or 4 equals c. Okay. Then I'm going to use substitution to check my answer. I'm going to do that by copying down first the original equation. Now everywhere I see a c, I'm going to plug in a 4. Okay. And 8 plus 4 is 12. And I'm going to ask myself, does 12 equal 12? It sure does. That checks out. So I know my answer is indeed 4 equals C, or you could say C equals 4, whichever one. All right, so to recap, today's lesson was lesson 18 from module number 4, solving one-step equations using addition and subtraction. My target for the day was I can solve one-step equations using algebraic methods, and I can check to determine if the solutions make the equations true. Okay. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Zoom during our morning meetings. You can reach out to me via Remind, or you can email me at emarlow@rochesterdiscovery.com. Thank you very much, and have a great day.